Cats are the kind of animals that can't really be ruined. The only way I could see that happening is if they're Pop-Tart and they also shoot out rainbows. Oh no! Well, I guess this is what we're talking about now. Before I go any further, it's probably best to figure out how to actually pronounce this. Is it Nyan Cat or maybe Nyan Cat? All you really have to do is put the word meow into Google Translate and see what comes up in Japanese audio.
Yeah.
Nyan.
Yeah.
Nyan. Okay, so this seems like the right way, but honestly, I've grown up just saying Nyan Cat instead, so that's what I'll be doing throughout the video. There's no need to rush to the comments with your pitchforks. I realize this is the wrong way of saying it. It's just a lot easier for me. Anyway, let's dive into what Nyan Cat is, what it ended up becoming, and how it appeared everywhere you could possibly think of. In April 2011, a mysterious animated cat suddenly made its debut on YouTube out of nowhere. It was pretty basic, just a happy guy with a Pop-Tart floating through the stars on a rainbow trail. This was a loop that seemed like it would never end, getting stuck in your head for all the wrong reasons, and generally just being annoying. Anyway, the animation was made by a guy named Christopher Torres, who based it off of drawing requests from one of his live streams. He also made sure the design reflected his real-life cat, Marty. While the animation is fun, the song has a completely separate backstory that actually originates in Japan. Turns out it's a spin on something from Hatsune Miku. Okay, cool. Now when a YouTuber combines both of these elements, the internet was sold on the whole thing. Back then, I didn't really like it because it just wasn't very fun or creative, and yeah, my thoughts are the same right now. However, let's take a look at everything that came as a result of Nyan Cat's existence. It's been a dead meme for a long time, but there's still a lot to look back on that you might not have known. First of all, the video became so big that even YouTube themselves responded with a brand new feature. The play bar would be catified, and the trail of what viewers watched would be filled with a rainbow. While this obviously didn't last long, it was still a neat way for YouTube to show their appreciation. Feels like they stopped doing things like this in modern day, which is disappointing. Something you may not know about this cat is that he wasn't the only animal and food combo made by the creator. He realized that people loved seeing a mix between the two ideas and ended up making a happy creature called Fiesta Spider. It followed the same formula in its animation, being simple and replayable enough to keep people watching. We also can't forget about Melon Bird, a bird who wears a top hat and a monocle, rocking a watermelon body and wings. Looks like he's having a great time, but as you can probably imagine, these guys didn't catch on in the same way as Nyan Cat. It felt like a one-hit wonder kind of situation. No matter how many pixelated characters he made, only one of them rose to the top. After the success of the viral video, a website was created to expand the popularity. It's hard to base an entire site off of a single animation, but these guys somehow pulled it off. In the middle of the screen, you'd see that feline face staring right back at you, but things could be customized to make it a more fun experience. If you weren't a fan of the vanilla cat, you could spice him up a bit so it's Pikachu zapping through the stars, or maybe this colorful rainbow cat. What also stood out about Nyan Cat's website is its stats feature, which basically gives players achievements to unlock. Again, I really don't know how all of this was based around a single looping animation, but here we are. We just have to accept it. On the right side of the page, we get a glimpse of something strange. Wait, hold on. What's Nyan Cat lost in space? Well, it's just one of those mobile endless runners. Whoop-de-doo. As you run and jump, the rainbow trail follows you wherever you go, and of course this can't be a Nyan Cat game without the song blasting your ears constantly. While I never really liked this cat, I'm willing to admit that some of the fan creations centered around him were actually pretty incredible. You don't need to search far on YouTube to get a sense of what I mean. YouTuber Rumpy Doppelganger decided to bring a completely new perspective. His video genre hopping is an absolute trip that journeys throughout various different time periods and locations. Everything is animated in a faithful way to the original video, but there are still so many new things happening. Not only was the animation super creative, but when the segment changed to something new, the song would get a remix.
Your call is important to us. Please stay on the line.
It's the perfect kind of video. Better than the original, because it expands the concept in more ways than one, and is, you know, legitimately entertaining. Genre hopping wasn't the only fan creation of Nyan Cat. Far from it. I can't go over every single example on YouTube since there's countless, but people have made some insane modifications of the source material. Calvin Sang straight up brought the cat into real life using some nice special effects. He also shoots lasers out of his eyes because, why not? Fan creations like this is exactly what I want to see. Sure, Nyan Cat was incredibly annoying since you couldn't sleep without him haunting your dreams, but this was the bright side to the never-ending nuisance. Out of all the problems that would come from a harmless rainbow cat friend, the last thing you'd expect is a lawsuit. As it turns out, that's exactly what happened in 2013. It also comes from the last place you'd expect, Scribblenauts. For those unaware, this is the kind of game where you can write stuff down and bring them to life for solving puzzles. The game is relatively harmless in its presentation, meant for players to use their imagination to tackle their objectives. Now, here's where things become a problem. Type in Nyan Cat and there he is. It also works if you type in Keyboard Cat, which was an even older YouTube video that gained a ton of traction. This crossover seemed fine until you realize that Warner Bros. And developer 5th Cell didn't actually get permission to use the characters. The Nyan and Keyboard Cat creators teamed up for a lawsuit against the big guys, and other people were rightfully on their side. In a statement by Chris, who made the animation, he lays down the facts on what was happening. We reached out to the companies in hopes of working out an amicable resolution of the issue, yet were disrespected and snubbed each time as nothing more than nuisances for asking for fair compensation for our intellectual property. That's not right. I have no issues with Nyan Cat being enjoyed by millions of fans as a meme, and I have never tried to prevent people from making creative uses of it that contribute artistically and are not for profit. But this is a commercial use, and these companies themselves are protectors of their own intellectual property. Many other companies have licensed Nyan Cat properly to use commercially. In Scribblenauts Unlimited, you have to actually type out the words Nyan Cat and Keyboard Cat to get our characters to appear in the game. In fact, the game forbids you from making any copyright references in their games with a pop-up error. Meanwhile, 5th Cell recently negotiated proper rights for several Nintendo characters for the games. Just because popularity with millions of fans has caused Nyan Cat and Keyboard Cat to become famous by virtue of their viral or meme nature, doesn't give these companies a right to take our work for free in order to make profits for themselves. Especially considering too that they would be the first to file lawsuits against people who misappropriate their copyrights and trademarks. It just isn't fair. While it's sad to see the copyright being completely ignored, this situation luckily has a happy ending. The lawsuit's end result was that the two cats would stay in Scribblenauts, but now the creators would be paid. While things should have been like that since the very beginning, better late than never, I guess. So, okay, what ended up happening to Nyan Cat? Well, like everything else on the internet, its popularity didn't last more than a year or two. There were still things every once in a while that would hope to cash in on the whole idea, but over time, less and less people cared about him. Even though we had to say goodbye, it's always still cool to look back at the YouTube of the past and see how different it was. Phew, now that we're finally done talking about all this, I can safely say my eyes are burning, and I'm not okay.
Nothing brightens a dark room like light from a window. Time to open the window. Oh no!
But anyway, that's all for this video. Subscribe for more awesome cartoon videos. Give a thumbs up and comment below, let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.